A few months back, I was playing pickleball, and after a few games, I went to pick up my towel, and as I bent over, I just pulled something in my back.
Oh, my back.
Like I could barely get up. This actually happened. Literally just picking up my towel, not lifting, not working out, not doing anything cool. Picking up my towel, takes my breath away, sharp pain. It hurt to sit down, it hurt to move. I was struggling to get up places, and it was like that for 2, 3, 4 days, and it took me 10 days to 2 weeks to get back to fully normal. And this happens to many people. And if this were to happen to you, what are you gonna do, right? Like most people are gonna go on a Google search and type in, I just pulled my back, what do I do? Back exercises, low back pain remedies, right? You're gonna search and find anything that you can to help. I'm gonna give you 4 exercises that one helped me, but I know that can help just about any lower back case. Go in the chat right now and comment back pain, all caps, because it's gonna enter you in for a giveaway to my 1-year-long program called That Pickleball Program 001. It's 12-month access, full workouts, hip refiners, shoulder refiners, ankle refiners, things to help heal you, full access to our app. It's a $1,200 value. Every 60 days, we're gonna be giving away 1 year free. Comment back pain right now. If you have back pain right now, follow these exercises. Alrighty, our first exercise is gonna be a side lying foam roller decompression. A lot of these exercises are going to be based on breathing and based on breaths. So they take a lot of attention to detail, they take a lot of focus, and you really have to slow yourself down, right? Like if you're an impatient person and you like to do exercises and you just kind of blow through them, these aren't going to work for you. So within this first exercise, we're going to put this foam roller. So this bottom leg is going to be right just close to about 90 degrees, top leg bent up, close to 90 degrees as well, but also obviously in this upward fashion. We're gonna put this foam roller closer to the armpit, right? Like you can feel the bottom of the ribs, middle of the ribs. We're gonna say upper part of the ribs. All I'm gonna do is I'm gonna sit on this foam roller. I'm gonna try and keep this straight line posture, right? Like I don't want my head to die down. I don't want it to be stuck up here. I wanna kind of be in the straight line posture from my nose down through this zipper. It's kind of leaning all the way down to my belly button, to my crotch, this knee up. My pressure points are going to be obviously within this foam roller. Doesn't feel the greatest, but also a little bit here heavy on the side of this knee. So I'm leaning in, and all I want to do is I want to breathe in this position, and I want to take these nice lazy inhales, and then I just want to slowly exhale everything out. So I'm going to inhale through the nose, keeping my mouth closed. I'm going to exhale, and when I exhale, I'm going to feel myself sink into this foam roller. Okay, I'm not just gonna like slouch into it, but you're gonna feel your rib cage kind of sink into the foam roller, and you're gonna kind of just fall into this foam roller. So I'm gonna inhale lazy, right? It's not like this big, just a nice lazy inhale, and then I'll exhale, sinking into the foam roller. With this exercise, I am like, think about this as my rib cage, right? And this is the bottom of my rib cage, this is the top of my rib cage. A lot of us, our rib cages is kind of like squished together and wide. What we're doing is we're laying on this foam roller and we're kind of like smushing it back, trying to get this expansion between the front and the back of your rib cage. So as you do this, you're really doing that, just that. You're pushing it from the sides and you're expanding it from front to back. What I would do is about 5 breaths, 5 times each side. All right, our next exercise is gonna be a hook line breathing. We're gonna try and get a good connection between our feet and our hips, as well as getting our pelvis and ribs within a good stacked position. So like I said, everything we do is gonna be based around breathing. So as I'm doing this in this hook lying position, okay, my feet are flat on the ground. I just kind of feel the ground. I'm kind of heavy within my feet. When I think about it, I'm gonna be putting pressure on, if this is the middle of my heel, somewhat on the medial side of my heel, as well as on the base of the great toe. I'm not like pushing into the ground, I'm just getting heavy within those points. So medial side of the heel, base of the great toe, that's kind of where I have my pressure. And in this position, I want to be able to feel my PSIS. So your PSIS is the bony spots on the back of your hips. We've all felt those, right? I want those to be able to be felt on the ground. So if I'm getting heavy within these points on my feet, I want to be able to feel my PSIS on the ground. If you cannot feel them on the ground, elevating your feet just a little bit will usually help fix that. So let's say I can't feel them. I'm going to elevate my feet a little bit. That kind of tips my pelvis back a little So I'm gonna get heavy on these points, and I actually do feel it a little bit better elevating my feet. So I'm gonna feel my points, medial side of the heel, base of the great toe. I'm getting heavy on those points. One thing I want to note is that we're not getting heavy and like tucking, right? Like we've all probably been told like, tuck the pelvis. I've said it before. It's like, tuck the pelvis. That's over tucking, that's overdoing it. You're really just moving the pelvis and not so much any other aspects of the spine. So we're heavy on these points. And all I'm gonna do here is I'll usually keep my hands to my side, heavy on these points, feeling my PSIS in the ground. Then I'm gonna do the same breathing, lazy inhale through my nose, full exhale out of my mouth. As I inhale, I'm gonna keep my mouth closed. I'm keeping my eyes looking straight forward. As I exhale, I just kind of collapse into the ground. Everything is kind of stacking into this position. One thing, remember, don't tuck. Don't think about pulling the pelvis under. Don't push down super hard with your feet, right? You want to be heavy on these points. Heavy with the feet and then feeling the PSIS on the ground. Do that for 2 to 3 sets each day. All right, now we're gonna get into one of my favorite exercises called the walking wall squat. Check this out. All right, the walking wall squat. How we're gonna perform this. Once again, focus, attention to detail. I'm gonna start about an arm's length, arms bent length away from the wall, right? So about like this far away from the wall. I'm gonna be heavy on my feet in those same spots in the hook lying breathing exercise, right? Medial side of the heel, as well as base of the great toe. So I'm heavy on those points, right? I'm feeling those points. I'm not like over tipping on my feet, just heavy on those points, feet right under my hips. My arms are slightly bent, about an arm's length away from the wall when they're slightly bent. I'm gonna start with a slight knee bend, right? And as I do this, I'm gonna walk down the wall, okay? My eyes are always gonna be straight ahead, right? I'm not looking down, I'm not looking up. They're just straight ahead, relaxed. And as I walk down this wall, I'm gonna keep this soft knee bend. So I'm gonna treat my hands like suction cups. As I walk down the wall with my hands, I'm gonna push my hips back like I'm trying to reach and close a drawer with my butt, right? Like I'm gonna almost reach and push my booty back. My knees will stay in the same soft position, and I'm gonna try and feel some expansion and a stretch within my booty and my hamstrings. Here's a decent spot for me because I can feel the backside of my hips, backside of my booty and hamstrings to start to stretch and semi-open up. I'm keeping my eyes straight forward. My knees are still slightly bent, and I would breathe in that position, right? I'm gonna perform this one more time. And I'm gonna show you how people will do it wrong, right? One thing we don't wanna do is drift our knees back as we go down, right? We don't want our knees to go back like that. They're still slightly bent, but they're drifting, right? I want that knee bend to stay there, and then I just want the hips to go back as well. Also, we wanna keep the eyes straight forward. Many times people will just start to look down. So keep the eyes straight forward, knees slightly bent, and just open up the back of the hips. So let's recap. Our first exercise was the side-lying foam roller decompression exercise. What that did is that's trying to expand your rib cage from front to back. The second exercise was the hook lying breathing exercise. What that's doing is trying to get this foot and hip connection so that we can kind of get in this stacked position with our ribs and our pelvis. The last exercise was the walking wall squat. Walking wall squat is great because it's trying to expand our posterior lower, right? Our posterior hips. It's trying to expand the backside of our body, get a good stretch within the hamstrings. We're now going into our last exercise, which is going to be a wall squat with reach. Let's do it. I'm gonna grab a ball, yoga block. We're gonna start about a foot's length away from the wall. Same pressure points as before, right? Medial heel, base of the great toe. I'm gonna place this ball in between my feet just for some light pressure. And our goal is to feel that PSIS, right? Those bony spots on the top of your hips. I wanna feel that PSIS on the wall. If you can't feel that right away, try sinking down into a little bit deeper of a squat, right? I can feel that here. Now the same thing, right? It's a wall squat with a reach, right? So I have light pressure on the ball, great toe, medial heel. All I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna get my elbows bent here. Ever see Zercher squats? People doing those Zercher squats? Kind of similar to that, right? Kind of elbows right below, just pointing directly towards my knees. I'm gonna be looking straight ahead, having a slight reach here. All I'm gonna do is slightly reach down, like almost pulling my elbows down towards my knees, feeling that PSIS on the wall. And I'm gonna breathe in this position, right? You should feel a little bit of quads. You should feel a little bit of hamstrings. I'm gonna breathe in this position. One thing you aren't doing is you're not overreaching, right? You're not like taking your scaps and going like this. I'm keeping my head back. I'm keeping in this neutral position. Just a slight lazy reach. Keep feeling my PSIS. Lazy inhales, lazy exhales. What we're trying to accomplish within these exercises is we want to get yourself in an optimal position, and which is this stacked position, right? That stacked position is your hips and your rib cage in a stacked position like this, right? They're in this position. I don't want my hips to be sitting like this and my ribs to be like this. I want them to be like a cylinder, stacked position. With all of these exercises, if you perform 5 sets of 5 breaths at least 1 time a day, you're gonna be in a lot better shape than when you started, and you're gonna be putting yourself in a more stacked position. Whether you do it in the morning, right, you're gonna be walking around in a better position, as well as going to bed, you'll be able to go to sleep feeling good, feeling like you're back and you're in alignment. So if you wanna be pain-free, you wanna have a healthy back, and you wanna play more pickleball, perform these exercises. Do them on the regular. 5 sets, 5 breaths, every single day. Injuries are really starting to pop up within pickleball. Check out what I think about all the injuries and what the most prevalent ones are in this video here.